which is my former supervisor, Teacher Service Commission, and he has all the details of how I grew, how I developed, until now I'm also a director like he is. Those ones I can provide their contacts and leave to this honorable committee.
Thank you, sir. Now, Chairman, should this committee wish to get more about you and the right or the make a phone call to your employer, do you have any reservations, or what is your stand on that?
Through the chair, absolutely no. I have no objection.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. Thank you so much, the Honorable Paul Shirchir. We move to the Honorable Majority.
Chairman, maybe from the interaction with the nominee, whatever we were, I think the honorable members have awarded almost all of them marks, because from the interaction, I think the issue of education, training, relevant to the position, has been touched, Chairman. Maybe the final one to ask the nominee is whether he has ever published anything. Have you ever published anything, like a book, articles, report letters, editorial pieces, or published materials? Have you ever published anything?
Through the chair, allow me to respond. I have not published any material apart from my schemes of work and lesson plan.
Thank you, Chair. I think we can proceed.
Thank you. We now proceed to, in order to tackle the Honorable who?
The fourth one.
Yes, number 4, please.
And the book protects the one.
Thank you. Chairman, through the chair, Mr. Malil, once again, welcome to this committee. While you made presentation just a while ago, you talked about wage bill. And now that, because you're coming to the docket, public service management, Section 15 of Public Finance Management Act, read together with Public Finance Management Regulations of 2015, dictates that wage bill of any county government should not be more than 35%. The recent report from the Controller of Budget, Commission on Revenue Allocation, Controller of Budget, puts Kericho at 42%. That is way above the requisite wage bill. You talked about the need to have enforcement officers. This county government of Kericho has a number of departments that require critical personnel. They are yet to hire, and it is required that they replace them. But then, because the wage bill is already 42%, what do you intend to do? Number 2, this county government of Kericho, in the inception of Governor Chepkwony, recruited up to 150, no, is it 150? 781 youth, trained them in Jebogan for a month, paramilitary training. Only 150 were absorbed on contract. Those are the enforcement officers that we have so far. But then the county used resources to train the 781, and they were supposed to work for the county government. How do you intend to resolve this? Because we have a number of youth who are yet to get an opportunity, yet the county government trained them, used public resources. And lastly, there is a linkage between the Department of Finance and PSM on revenue collection, which you articulated that, you know, the docket you've been nominated to will be having personnel ready to work with the other department to ensure revenue is collected. Again, Mr. Malel, if we do not have this personnel, we'll need to hire. And I've told you, the county government of Kericho has 42% of the revenue, of wage bill. Tell us how you want to navigate for us to get the best service while we are maintaining the minimum wage bill threshold stipulated by the Act and even by the regulation, the Public Finance Management Regulation. Thank you.
Are you through, the Honorable Gwan? Okay. Let me give it to the Honorable. I hope you have noted that, Malel.
Yes, Chair.
No, let me give to the Honorable Anita.
Maybe a rejoinder through the chair. What Honorable Rogonya has just talked about in terms of the huge wage bill. This is the current scenario that we're speaking about areas or departments that need replacements, they need employees, and at the same time, we are saying we are at 42%. I would like you to, give us a practical thought, because you're coming in, we're hoping when you come in, you'll be a solution. We've talked about this department having different leadership being changed, I think, third or fourth time. And it's because of the challenge that in there that we expect service delivery. And we're speaking about human resource, where we're not able to employ more because of the huge wage bill, but still we are saying we are short of employees. So let us know what are some of the watertight, what is this that you feel it could give you an understanding of what is really happening. Because what we need to understand is if we have a huge wage bill, meaning we have so many employees, but at the same time, when we talk about collecting revenue, we say we need personnel, for example. When we talk about health, we need to employ more health workers. Where are these big numbers? Where are these number of employees? Speak about ghost workers too. You're coming into a political environment. I know you've been in teaching environment. I don't know if you have ghost workers in teaching fraternity. Let's hear what some of the things you look into, so that as we speak about wage bill and the huge number of employees employed, are they really working? Is it that we have ghost workers? What are some of the measures you're really bringing on board to help this county to move forward with the experience that you've mentioned today, to be of help to this docket that is key to delivering or to serving the people of Kericho? Thank you.
All right, there is a rejoinder by the Honorable Chiriabet.
Thank you, Chair. Briefly about the same, and that is now the main. If you manage the wage bill in this county, Mr. Malel, I think you will be a very successful person. You will be remembered. Malel, one of the reasons why we do not get services getting into the villages in our county is because the county government requires that we need to employ the village administrator, we need to employ the village councils, and that is the County Government Act. But in our county, Mr. Malel, the smallest unit that we currently have is the ward administrator. And these ward administrators, they are rarely found in their places where they are supposed to work. And therefore, services do not reach to the villages. What is that one thing that you will do to make sure that you've talked of a vision and effective service delivery? But now, giving you information, and I know you are a resident of this county, ward administrators are rarely found in those wards that they are supposed to be. Now that you are coming here, you want to devolve services further to the ground, but we have not even employed the village administrators, neither have we employed the village council. You've heard about the wage bill. Wage bill is an elephant in the room. You had the president the other day, I think he's closing a wage bill conference. Is it today? Until the president calls a conference to discuss on the wage bill, because the wage bill is skyrocketing. Now that you are coming as a CEC in charge of the PSM, we need service delivery. Yes, we need more people. We need village administrators, we need village council. The wage bill is up there. The county, I know you are a teacher and you are aware that the ECD teachers is domiciled in the county government. But from where we come from, there are some schools that we've not even employed a single ECD teacher. And yet the wage bill is already high. What is that practical thing that you are going to do so that our people, including our children, get that service to be taught in class? Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. The Honorable Anita.
Just a quick one, Chair, just to add more on what Honorable Chiriad has mentioned, as we speak about wage bill and the ongoing conference, which I just read that the theme of that conference is towards 35%. Also, let us know what would be your plan towards 35% in Kericho County. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Malel,
Sure.
is it a rejoinder?
Only a rejoinder. Mr. Malel, I only want to, so that you answer all, tell us, you told us while you introduced yourself, you've been the chairman, Soin Division, what Soin and Soliat. Do you know the sub-county administrator of Soin Sigawet? The number two, tell us if you know the ward administrators of the two. Forget about the other division, the two wards, if any. And lastly, there is something that my colleague, the Honorable Chiriad, might have introduced. And I thought I was going to introduce ahead. I wanted to answer them all. Section 48 of the County Governments Act gives us the decentralized units. Pursuant to the Constitution of Kenya, Article 89. That is the creation of the constituencies. For this case, you come from Sigawet to constituency. Now, the Constitution further devolves from the ward administrator to the village administrator to the village councils. Already, our neighbor, Kisumu County, has a village administrator. We do not have in Kericho. And for effective management of this county, we may need to have them on board. So you can imagine, we need to have this system. But then already wage bill for Kericho is 42%. Tell this committee how you intend to work and ensure we have this system in place, but as we manage the wage bill. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you. I want to give to the Honorable Maritim, and then you will respond to that, so that I'll be remaining with the Honorable Ezron and Dominic, the Honorable Dominic, and also the Honorable Anthony. We will start with you in the next round of questions. Yes, the Honorable Maritim.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I just want to ask Malel, he has been adversely mentioned in an investigatory report of Parliament or county or any other commission of inquiry in the last 3 years.
Through the chair, absolutely no.
All right. I think that is expressed. Now, Mr. Malel, now you can take close to 5 minutes just to summarize, because if you realize the questions or the issue or matter raised by the honorable members, I think mainly is about wage bill and how you will sort it out. Should you be approved by this house to be the CC public service? Look, as you summarize, but most importantly is ensure that you respond to the key points.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to respond to those which I feel I should do, but to the others, I would still ask this committee to allow me, if approved, to sit with my colleagues and maybe look and have a conversation on this. But first, we are talking of the wage bill, which is at 42 from Honorable Rogony, and we should be at 35. It's true, like the conversation that is on now, headed by His Excellency the President. One thing that I want to address is the causes of wage bill. What made this wage bill in our county to go up? So that we should be able to actually address the causes. And when we address the causes, we have the mitigation of what caused. And as a resident of this county, and I've talked of the enforcement officers, the collection of our revenue in this county is not up to date. Why? Is because the supervision of those, the enforcement, the supervision of those who are supposed or tasked to do so is maybe below the average that we expect. So what, if approved, I want to do the following. I wish to do the following. One is to have a unified central, that is a central payroll, centralized payroll under public service management. The purpose of this, like what we see in that meeting in Nairobi, is that the meeting is coming up with what we call HRIS, Human Resource Information System Kenya, where if they pass that resolution, then all the payrolls for the public service will be actually held and administered centrally. Like where I am as I sit, that is a commission. Though we have 10 directorates, we have a centralized payroll, so that the 10 directorates will not have their different payrolls. I don't want to say in the county maybe the 10 departments we have various payrolls, no. But then this is what I want to begin with. This will assist me, if approved, one, to know the legit employees of this county through headcount. And I will work together with my colleagues in the department, the CECs, and the human resource and the chief officers, so that we realize whether we have course teachers. I will borrow.
Not
Sorry,
not teachers. Yeah.
I'm talking as a teacher.
All right.
Cost workers. I'm saying I will borrow a leaf with what Simbarati did in Kisii, where he took all the vehicles to the field and asked all the drivers to come with the keys. So only very few had the keys to the particular vehicles, but the rest didn't have the keys, but they were employees of the county as drivers. So if we can borrow such a leaf, we may be having some people whom we pay as a county, and they are not really employees of this county. And we can only identify that through a centralized payroll. Because of course, whom are we paying? If we are paying A, then this A is working where? So this is the work of the human resource officers. Secondly, I want to say, after having the centralized payroll, and then we upscale the collection of revenues in this particular county. How do we do it? I feel we need a legislation where we can allow, apart from us, the employees of Public Service Commission, going out to the car park and maybe to the markets and all that. I want to propose, if approved, that we have a farm, a private farm. And if it is in existence, then I will just maybe work with that and improve the collection of the revenues in this particular, working together with the Department of Finance, so that if we can employ a private farm where they can actually do private work on collection of revenues, then that can work. If we can borrow a lift to Nairobi, where we had the former governor, so we had people collecting revenues away from the executive body of the county government. So we can do that in Kericho. We can have a farm, a private farm. We can agree. It can be legislated here in the House committees. And if that can be allowed, then we can go ahead to do so. The other issue, apart from this, is I feel the revenues that we collect in this county, the sources are not enough. They are not sufficient. I will work with other departments like the Ministry of Trade, that is the Trade Department. We want to actually attract investors so that we can have the true industrialization. If we can have several investors in the county, then of course we will be able to add on what we have already.
As you wind up.
Yes,
As you wind up.
that is it. And then on the Chebwagan issue, the Chebwagan team, I want to say, Honorable Rogony, I'm a resident of Kericho, but then the way they were trained was unprocedural. The way the public funds were used again was unprocedural. If we borrow a leave from the military first they absorb, and then when they have actually taken them in, they train. And they do so when they have a budget already. Now, those who are outside, with the information of this committee, is that they are not certified. They do not have any certification. They have the skills, yes, for paramilitary, but they do not have certification. The ones who have served, this one, I want to believe, because I'm a resident, that they only brought on contract during the time when we really needed enforcement. And the ones we had in our payrolls were not enough. So they came in during Kikoska. There was sports year in 2019. And therefore, the county government executive then did not have enforcement. And so the 115 were brought from the wards. 150. Thank you for the correction. The 150 were brought from the wards. 10 per ward. And then when they were brought on board, they came as a result of, they were employed under contract. But then they were supposed, after the games, after the sports in Kericho County, they were supposed to be dismissed or maybe left out. But because the sports came in and the county government did not have enough enforcement team, they actually employ these particular trainees on contract term to date. Now, what will happen to those who are out there, I don't want to say. It's until when this house approves me, I want to find out and maybe sit with the ICT, because they were actually trained under ICT, that is youth empowerment. It's not under public service management. It's only the public service management who asked them during this particular exercise. But then it was a program, it's a special program in the unit under the Directorate of Disaster Management and Enforcement.
All right.
So maybe, Chair, I want to mention this by saying we will be able to utilize the ones we have. Honorable Anita talked of how we can actually take care of this particular wage bill, which is growing from 35 to 42. I want to say, if approved, we will sit together with my colleagues, we will discuss, and like I've mentioned some of the ways, we will have a structured system. We'll have a structure that is organizational structure, which is workable. And in this case, I just want to say the head count, the centralized payroll, and and then we also have a workable organogram. This workable organogram will assist us, because we will be able to say the CEC department is, then who are these ones who are working under your department. Then I've mentioned about attracting investors.
Yes, you don't have to.
Yeah, I've
repeat that.
mentioned those ones.
And
So thank you,
yes, Malel, I think you have tackled it very well, that aspect. So I want to give to the Honorable Dominic, then I'll give to Honorable.
Sorry, Chair.
On
Honorable Cheruyot have not responded, but briefly in 1 minute
All
about the ward administrators
okay.
and village.
Yes.
Now, so far, according to the developed function, the village administrators and the village council, it is still underway. It is being discussed. So already, the public service, county public service board has not actually started to discuss on this one exhaustively. But the ones in force now are the village administrators. These village administrators, ward administrators. The ward administrators in this case, why we don't fill them in our wards, because they have about 10 roles. Why we don't fill them is because, one, they are lacking offices. They don't have any office anywhere in our wards. Maybe, I don't know whether some wards have established offices for these ward administrators. Number two, the way also our honorable members of this house may not be having their offices in the wards. So in this case, the ward administrators do not have offices. What I want to do, if approved, is to talk with the county public service board, who are actually the appointment body, to actually establish, because that is their role, to establish offices for ward administrators in the ward unit, so that they are able to actually deliver their services to the residents. Number two, these ward administrators, they also lack means of transport.
A point of interjection, Chair. Is the county public service board is not their work to build offices. You know what the ward administrators, as per your statement, is it is under your department. In fact, you should not push blame to the recruiting authority. It is under you if you are given this. So tell us what you will do. What you will do for this ward administrator who was supposed to be in Ainamoi ward, stays in Ainamoi ward from morning to evening, because the board has already recruited. Now we need you say they lack offices. So it is not the work of the board to build an office. It is under your department if you are given the green light. So tell us what you will do to make this person stay in my ward.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable.
And Chairman, like my ward, Sigowit, we have an office, but the ward administrator is not there. And secondly, Mr. Malel, I think you need to convince this committee, because we have an officer called an agricultural extension officer. They might not even have an office, but they are supposed to work for the county government. Now, tell us how you intend to make these people work for the county government.
Yes, Honorable Anthony.
I rejoined on the same.
Yes,
Your
proceed.
assumption, Mr. Malel, that ward administrators do not have offices is not true. In fact, most of them do have offices. But the problem is that they don't play their role effectively, so that the residents of this county can have quality services. On the same, most of our wards, as we are speaking now, do not have substantial ward administrators. There's an acute shortage of ward administrators. The same thing applies to sub-county administrators. So, if in any case you are given this responsibility to be CC
Yes,
in charge of PSM,
let us.
what measures are you going to put in place to make sure that our wards are substantially filled with ward administrators and also sub-county administrators? Thank you, Chair.
Malil, I want to, because that is really more of a practical question. The Honorable Dominic, so that I want us also to take the one from you and the one from the Honorable Hezron, and then we can now conclude. Please.
Thank you, Chair. In your opinion, if you approve, Mr. Malel, do you think the county government of Kericho is fully compliant with the constitution requirement at least 5% to reserve for people living with disability as by Article 54, subsection 2 of Constitution of Kenya of 2010? If not, what is your plan and what you should you do if appointed? You need also to touch something on the motivation of workers, the county staff, and what will you do to motivate them? Because you know human resource is key. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Hezron.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations, Malel, for your appointment. So I'll take you through 2 questions because of time. One on current affairs, and second on general knowledge or opinion. And I will start by affecting 2 questions, which I want to know. You tell this committee, you state your net worth. What is your net worth? And then,
yes, proceed, continue. Sorry.
So you tell us what is your net worth and you break it down. Number 2 is that Malel, currently in Kenya, there is a serious doctors' strike in the entire republic. And this strike is because of the CPA, which was entered in 2020 or 2017. After deliberation, Malel, the resolution is that each county to sort their own issues. If this committee finds you suitable to appoint you as a CC in charge of PSM, whereby all those will be domiciled under you, and that you will be the principal advisor to the governor. And to the principal advisor to the governor and to the principal advisor to the county, how will you handle the issue of doctors' strike so that at least it cannot interrupt the operations in the county? Second last question is that in Kericho County, we have many staffs. One, you have commented on the enforcement officers, and 2, we have nurses, which were employed under contract in the year between 2018 and 2019. And they have been serving in the county on contractual basis for that long. They cooked a demonstration for the dissatisfaction of their terms of employment because they have been on contract for so long. And because it was tamed in a certain manner, they have been demoralized, and it has affected the operations in the service delivery in our county. If this committee finds you suitable and approve you to be in charge of the same, what will you do so that at least you can see those employees employed under permanent and pensionable terms, because your predecessor managed to employ 1,200 ECD teachers under permanent and pensionable terms. So now those who are left are the nurses, clinical officers, medics, and the enforcement officers. One general public general question. Who is the CS in charge of public service management and delivery international government?
Yes, you are through. Honorable members, unless there is anything else to be raised other than that, I'll be giving you, of course, for your final remarks and comments after Malel responds to those issues. Is there anything, the Honorable Anthony Ruto, you need to raise something?
Yes,
Okay.
in addition to what Mheshimiwa Asron has asked, there is something on potential conflict of interest that goes with the office you intend to be approved or to work in. Mr. Malel. The office of CCPS is not a small office. It is a key one in terms of functions and many other things that are required in that office. I know you'll be dealing with employment, as you have already mentioned that office is in charge of human resource. Also, procurements also will be done in that particular office, and all those will present a lot of potential conflict of interest in your side as a CEC. How will you be able to handle some of the potential interest that may arise during your execution of your duties as CEC PSM? Last one on the same, Mr. Malel. I've already mentioned that you have worked for a long time. And as human beings, we may come across many challenges or loggerheads with the administration. Have you ever been tried in any court of law? And if so, what was the nature of the charge and the present status of that matter? Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. I don't know whether there is anything left out from the vetting criteria. All right, so I'll also post my last engagement. Mr. Malel, of course, having engaged with you briefly, I must commend you that you are well informed on what is happening in the county government, I guess because you are a key stakeholder.
Thank you,
But
Mr. Chair.
the thing that I'll ask you lastly, so that you'll respond to all, and then I'll give honorable members to give their final observation or comments. You must be aware, and of course, having been nominated to the docket of PSM on the issue of performance contracting, and recently, the governor, of course, and the CECs, and I think the chief officers signed performance contracting agreements. My concern is, of course, we cannot, of course, table evidence, but of course, we have engaged with your colleagues. Now that, should we approve you, this House is informed that you will be signing both appointment letter, acceptance, as well as resignation letter, which is undated. Are you ready to do that, Mr. Malil? And is that, and my concern is being an expert, of course, having listened to you keenly, is that the right procedure? What will be your advice? Should we approve you as the CC for public service management? But more importantly, indicate to this House whether you will be ready to sign both the acceptance as well as the resignation letter. So I'll give it to you, and then you will respond in just 2 or 3 minutes, and then you summarize, Malil. Then I'll give to the honorable members to make their final comments, and then I'll come back to you so you make your final remarks. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair, and the Honorable panel. I want to begin with Honorable Anita, where she talked of towards 35% plan. I want to commit myself, if approved, that before I respond to this question, I want to meet with my colleagues from other departments, because of course it's not only the public service management that can actually bring down the wage bill in the county, but most importantly, I've talked of the human resource information system that will actually make a follow-up of the employees of the county. And of course, I've also mentioned several other issues like attracting investors and what have you. So I would still request this honorable panel that, if approved, I'll go sit down with my colleagues and come up with a system of the same. Honorable Rogony has also mentioned the presence of the word admins. Okay, I'm sorry, because I don't understand all the 30 words, but then it is also important for me to find out why these ward administrators, yet they have their offices, others even have some means of transport, and they are not on duty as expected of them. What I'll do, if approved, I will sit down with the human resource, I will sit down with the administrative directorate and public service management, talked with the sub-county administrator, ward administrator, then we'll be able to sort out this mess. Honorable Ruta has talked on the same, but I want to say maybe currently we are lacking close supervision. All workers in this country, they have supervisors. So I will find out, if approved, in the docket why this has been happening, and I will come up with a workable work plan on this particular issue, so that we have these employees, because we pay the public, they earn taxpayers' money. So we shall find out why it has been happening, and then we improve on the same. Honorable Rogony has mentioned on these extension officers from the Department of Agriculture. They are very important because it touches the livelihood of our residents. Now again, maybe complaints down there in the wards, and of course in the county. Again, I will sit with my colleague from the Department of Agriculture, the CEC, the Chief Officer, and then we'll be able to see and identify the challenges that these particular officers are going through. We will be able to have, maybe they require an induction, maybe they require also maybe some training. We'll be able to do that after we are together. Honorable Dominic has talked of compliance of the county with the Constitution of Kenya, the BWDs having the 5% slots. Here, if the county has not complied, which as at now, I don't want to exhaustively maybe mention on the same, because I have not accessed the payroll so far. If that has not been done, then we should be able to know that this is a constitutional requirement And if it is a constitutional requirement, we must follow the ladder. The wage bill that we are experiencing at 42 now is not because does not merit the BWDs not to be included, because this wage bill, if it is higher and it goes maybe to the recurrent expenditures, then of course let it go higher when we have again the BWDs, the 5% being included. So this one I want to actually promise, if approved, I will sit down with the respective departments, then we'll work on the solution on this one. We'll be able to mitigate on this. Now, motivation of staff is key. Like in any other department, Ministry of Education, Teacher Service Commission, Ministry of Agriculture, and what have you, it is important to motivate the staff. But then, before you motivate any staff, what criteria do you use to motivate this staff? So I want to go back to Honorable Chair's question about the performance contracting. It is until we are able to gauge, it's until we are able to appraise the workers, that is when we motivate them. Because giving them salary, yes, that is upward growth. But then we need to motivate these people, these workers, after you have appraised them for the good work that they have done, for the good delivery services to the residents of this county. Therefore, if approved, if this house, this panel will approve me.
Hezron, Honorable
Yes,
Hezron.
Honorable Hezron, thank you. Honorable Hezron has mentioned about my net worth. Now, as a teacher, you know our resources, you know our payslips, but then God has enabled us to come this far. So my net worth as at now should be 12 million, but then less liabilities of circles and bank loans. So my net worth is 9.17 million.
What is your projection, maybe, assuming this committee gives you a clean bill of health, maybe as you exit, what is the total projection that will be what, maybe after the end of, I think we have now 3 years?
And Chair, through the Chair,
Yes.
you will break your net worth. It's not, it's a mandatory, because you see, if this committee approves you, and then within a year you are required to declare your, and then it skyrocketed from 20 million to 80 million, you know, it would be a question. So you have to break it down. If you have a car, if you have a land, break it down inside until it's 12 million.
Yeah, very, very important, because you know you have been a public officer. Yeah, you can respond to that.
Yeah. It is a constitutional requirement that we need to know before your net worth, and I hope that you've been filing returns. So if we can get a copy of your returns that you filed last, I think it would be of great importance to this committee, so that when you are given the green light, we will make sure that we also see what you would be filing after 3 years. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. Maybe just to ask so that we can clarify. Have you been submitting declaration of wealth after every 2 years? Maybe in your previous position?
Yes, Chair.
All right, then you can be able to respond there. Yeah. So you please respond. I am giving you 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe in the continuation of Honorable Hezron, the 9.17 million, I come up with the land. I have land in various places. And remember, in our county, we have the lower part, we have those particular places where we can sell at some prices.
Mm-hmm.
So I have about 19.2 acres of land, which is worth 7 million. I have dairy animals of about 200,000. I have others. Then the residential house, the house that I live, is worth 2.8 million. I have the bank shares in SACCO, 600,000, 0.6 million. I have an old car, but it is actually serving me over about 0.75 million. Then I'm a farmer of maize, beans, and coffee and sugarcane. All of this comes to 0.4 million. So coming to a total of 12.4 million, but I also have liabilities, Honorable Hesron, through the chair, of about 2.6 million.
Okay.
So I come to around 9.8 million.
That is well answered. Respond to the final one.
The projection
Letting finalize.
after maybe when I exit this service, yeah, I'm a servant, and being a servant, I may not be able to accumulate wealth because I want to serve the residents of this county. And remember, I talked of charitable activities. So my projection still maybe will rise from maybe 9 million to approximately 18 million or 20 million. Because I want to use whatever I get in my salary on charitable activities.
All right. Yes, you now respond to the last one.
Tax, I think I had answered this.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Chair.
The last one that I asked you on performance contract.
Performance contract.
Yes.
Now.
And whether you are aware of the events that have happened in the executive, more so concerning that performance contracting and the aspect of the appointment letter as well as the resignation letter that you are accepted, that should we approve you, those are the letters that shall be waiting for you to deal with it.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe to the honorable panel, I want to say I'm aware of the appointment letters. If approved, I'll also receive one. I'm also aware of acceptance. Now, where I come from, that is the Commission, Teacher Service Commission, we normally do not have a resignation letter being signed beforehand. But maybe I've not been there, maybe it is you, Chair, to assist me. Maybe it has been done through legislation of this House. And if that has been done, then it is accepted.
Chairman.
Order. The Honorable Malele is within his rights, of course, to seek for further clarification.
Yes,
but I was just bringing you to speed. That is what has happened. It has been in public domain, and I know you heard about it. I was just asking you whether you are ready, of course, to execute. Yes.
Okay, Chair. Because if it has happened, if the third letter has happened or has taken place in the county, then if this House will approve me, of course, maybe the signing, unless the signing is on the first day, I would wish to maybe suggest that I will meet with the appointing authority, the executive office of the governor, and we'll be able to discuss on this with the county secretary and see the need and how it was arrived at. Then I'll be able to deliver on it.
Exactly, and precisely, because should this House approve you, of course you will be the CC in charge of public service management, which is in charge of performance contracting, and that is why I put this question, so that perhaps your advice, because in matters HR and everything, you will be the key advisor to the county government. And when I say the county government, start from the governor, even to this county assembly, because we shall be relying heavily on the expertise and advice from public service. Honorable members, I think, yes, the honorable.
On conflict of interest,
potential, yes.
A potential conflict of interest.
Very important potential of interest.
And Chairman, before he answers, as a matter of concern, the nominee should know that you are holding, if you are approved, you're going to hold a public office that is given by the Constitution of Kenya under Article 179. And Mr. Malel, the last question posed by the chairman, that once, if this House approves your name to be subsequently appointed to be the CC in charge of PSM, you are only expected to sign that appointment letter, of course, and you deliver the acceptance letter. If the other one comes, then there is Article 1 of the Constitution, Article 10, Article 47, Article 24. It binds the governor not to infringe on your rights. And if we have such a scenario, then the governor is answerable to this house and not to you. Don't sign the resignation letter up front.
I don't know, maybe that is an observation and a comment. We don't want to put you into task. But remember again, Mr. Malel, should we approve you, you will be serving under the pleasure of His Excellency the Governor. And of course you heard when I was doing my communication on the pleasure doctrine that applies to the executive. So respond the one for Honorable Paul. We want to let him respond the one for Honorable Anthony. Yes, is it?
I rejoined on what Honorable Bruno Rogon has asked. Brutus Rogon. He cannot direct a member or a nominee in the manner he has done. Mr. Speaker, sir, as the chair of this committee, we expect you to guide the team, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, the Honorable Paul, I think I have already pronounced myself on that matter that we don't expect the nominee to respond to such. Of course, it was Honorable Rogon's observation. Yeah, but it just came up as a matter of concern because we are all aware that if Malel today is approved, he will have some letters that he will need to sign, and one of them is the resignation letter. In fact, this committee is giving you information so that you prepare yourself accordingly. So attempt to respond to the one for
Chairman, maybe the same thing too, that Honorable Paul Chirchir has just said. Mr. Malel is still a nominee, so maybe outside, maybe this presence, assuming it is being approved, for example, this one maybe Chirchir would supply maybe with a copy of Constitution and other things. But for now, let us take him as a nominee who will be waiting for the decisions from this committee whether it will be approved or not.
Okay. Thank you for that comment. Respond to the one from Honorable Anthony.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Majority Leader and Honorable Tarimbo Chirchir, thank you for the protection from the clauses of the Constitution. But allow me to answer Honorable Ruta on conflict of interest in this particular docket, which of course I know right from beginning from the County Public Service Board as appointing a department. I will stick on the following. One, the policy and guidelines. The policy and guidelines as we observe these particular new workers coming right from the names coming from the Public Service Board. Of course, you will be able to see because we have that words. Then which criteria have they used maybe to get the employees, so that if we have more employees coming from a certain department, you know, we are talking of equity distribution of employment.
Yes.
So I will talk of policy and guidelines.
Thank you.
Two,
Well,
I will
yeah.
also talk of principles of Chapter 6. Then we'll be able to, when I go back, I will be able to sit and see whether the conflict of interest has ever existed before.
Okay. Well elaborated. Any other on you are through, is it? I don't know, Anthony, I hope he has answered. Has he answered it? Of course. Because of what's honorable members, because of time. There is one
question which he never answered.
That on which the honorable Hezron
says it in church.
Oh yeah. You can respond to that.
The industrial action. Or which question was that?
The doctors.
Yeah, the doctors. This the industrial issue.
Yes.
Now the striking workers. So as I said, Chair, I would also want to fast myself with what causes the industrial action by our employees, especially the doctors and other dockets. But as at now, the one we have are actually the doctors. They are doing a lot of the service to the residents of this county. But at the same time, it is their right by constitution. So one thing that I wish maybe to go and do after we have sat down and have a conversation with the Ministry of Health, I mean the Department of Health, and of course the Finance, we will be able to come up with a solution. If we have to actually honor the CPA that was placed and was not honored, we'll be able to see, because we are talking of the wage bill, which may not be able to allow us to spend more than what maybe the county government is spending as at now.
Well,
but at the same time,
very well put.
we will be able to look at the CPA.
Yes.
Number two, promotion.
Thank you.
We will talk about promotion, and then we'll also be able to provide good working environment.
Oh,
because
yes.
we need to know why they are doing that, and has it been addressed before? If not, we'll be able to sit and have conversation.
Thank you.
Departments.
Thank you. Thank you, Males.
Thank you, Chair.
One final piece of a question, and then we close.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe one quick one. Malel, from your presentation, as you were trying to break down your net worth, I saw that you are a very serious farmer, and I saw you are one of the people who coming from sugar cane growing belt. Yesterday, the farmers from where you come from staged a very big meeting. I just wanted to know whether you are part of the meeting, which role did you play, and if given this opportunity to join the county executive, that is the place where most of the decision will also be taking place. What will you do? Answer first. Did you appear before the meeting? Which role did you play? If you are given a green light to be the CEC, you know you'll be part of the team that is going to advise, especially the governor, on what to do, especially to solve the issues pertaining the sugarcane farmers. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I only allowed that because it was part of problem solving, and again, it is a recent event in our county. And of course, we have even honorable members here who happen to have attended that meeting. Of course, we may not discuss the outcome of the meeting here, but just you respond, and I'll ask you whether did you attend the meeting?
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Is
it yes or no?
Just allow me to elaborate shortly. I'm a farmer and a very active farmer, but I'm happy because we have the role of this house is actually representation, apart from legislation and oversight. So I was represented fully by the members of this house who happened to attend. But I was preparing for this interview. I didn't attend.
All right. I think that is that is well answered. Honorable members, because of time, Malel, I'll give. We have. I know the Honorable Paul Chirichiri is very happy, but I am sure that your expertise, since you are a farmer and you come from the same place, will be very critical to the county, and not only the county but the nation at large on this aspect of sugar thing. The only thing that of course should concern us, and this one of course you mentioned it clearly, that we, the members of this house, represents the public, and that is the interest. The only thing is that we hope in future or in any meeting, individual interests should not override public interest. That should be the closing. I expected you to mention something like that. And again, this thing should not be used to advance political agendas in this county and the whole nation. That should be very critical. Honorable members, last remarks. The Honorable Leslie.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe mine is to wish Malel all the best as we are retreating to do a report. And if this committee find it suitable, approve you, one thing you have to do is to ensure that service to humanity is service to God.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Honorable Anita?
Thank you so much, Chair. I think also mine is to wish Malel all the best, and just allow me, Chair, to read a comment on our Kericho County Assembly a link from the public who are following the discussions. And there's one called Jeff Moritin saying that Malel hope the way he expressed himself reflect the real action on executing services. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Honorable Dominic?
Thank you, Chair. I wish you all the best, Mr. Malel.
Thanks, Asante. Honorable Moritin?
Thank you, Chair. I know, Malel, you are here because somebody was fired. Even in the case we approve you and the governor decide on his own wisdom to fire you later, will you go to corridors of justice or you just back and go? Otherwise, wishing you the best.
That is important. Please respond to that. We want to close from there because that was a question.
Thank you, through the chair. I'm practicing Christian values. And if that happens, and of course I don't expect it to happen, because I'll work very hard, I will consider on my Bill of Rights, together with the service delivery to the residents of this county, and decide the action I will take.
All right.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. This County Assembly, should they find you suitable and approve you, we look forward to a department which this county relies on in terms of services, because a well-motivated workforce will always deliver very well. So we wish you nothing but the very best, and should you be approved, practice what you have presented before this committee. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for your remarks. At least you didn't mention anything about sugar. So proceed. The honorable majority.
Thank you very much, Chair. My naked is to wish Honorable, not Honorable, the nominee, Mr. Malel, all the best in your future endeavors. And you said we practice Christian values. I will only encourage you that you continue practicing the same. And if this committee finds it better to approve you to the docket, kindly remember to always practice the Christian values that you stated. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. The leader majority, the honorable Cheriot Betts.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe to take this opportunity to thank Malel for making this far, and maybe to remind you, Mr. Malel, that in the likely event that this committee approves you, there are 4 critical things that you mentioned. One is that the payroll should be centralized. That is one, payroll to be centralized. Number 2, head count to be done to ascertain those who are working under the county government and those other workers who are not working but under payroll. Number 3, that you will make sure that the revenue collection in our county is somehow sourced or privatized. That is what you said. Number 4, revenue stream be increased. Then I had another 5, make sure that the revenue in our county is automated. Those are the 4 plus the one that I had, the central things that I took from you. And you will be charged, because you are a Christian, by what you confessed under oath. Thank you. I wish you well, and may God bless you as you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Cheriot. But I think you have heard about that. I think basically it is the statement of facts, and facts are stable. The only thing that the Honorable Cheriot didn't mention is whether you will be judged by God or judged by the public or whoever will charge you. The Honorable Rawan.
Thank you, Chairman. Malel, I'm grateful that we've had a very fruitful engagement with you. I wish you well, and should this House approve your nomination and you're subsequently appointed, I'll be very happy because we come from the same sub-county. Earlier on I declared interest. But lastly, I would only want to inform you, and I'm happy because you've answered one of the members. You know, the office you're going to hold is pursuant to Article 179 of the Constitution. And number 2, you have all the rights. You'll be the principal advisor to the governor, matters public service management. Any dictatorial tendencies, we will protect you as a house. Thank you.
Order, the Honorable. that is out of order. So, okay.
Sorry, I withdraw the last one, Chairman.
Okay.
But I'm simply saying his rights ought to be respected.
All right. Thank you. The Honorable Anthony Ruta.
Thank you, Chairman. Let me also join my colleagues by giving sincere congratulations to my brother Malel for the far that God has brought you. You started as a classroom teacher, and now you are a sub-county director of education in charge of staffing in one of the sub-counties of Turkana. And at the same time, you are before this honorable panelist, find to be a CC in charge of PSM. It's a total blessings from God. So I want to wish you success in every endeavor in the future. Thank you, my brother.
Amen, Honorable Ruta.
Thank you, the Honorable Anthony Ruta. Now I'll give you a minute for your final remarks, maybe to this committee, or anything else that you feel that you need to inform us.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
I want to appreciate the panelists that I have sat before them for the very conducive environment and also good conversation. I want to promise that if approved, I will ask God to help me commit myself to the effective and efficient service delivery to the residents of this county. I will work with this honorable house. I will work with the various house committees to actually look at achieve whatever we are planning for the people of Kericho. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Malel. From myself, I want to sincerely thank you for availing yourself before this vetting or committee or appointment committee. It has been a pleasure, of course, engaging with you. Your presence here and the engagements this committee have, will not take it for granted. We have had your views. The committee, as mentioned by the Honorable Vice-Ron, shall retreat, of course, and go and do a report. And we just want, at the moment, to wish you all the best and continue doing the thing that you spoke about. Continue praying your God. We hope that in your prayers you'll also consider some of us, and so that perhaps, because what I have noticed from your engagement is that you have exhibited a high level of professionalism. My wish is that should you be approved or in any other engagement outside this house or outside the county government, please, if you stick to that, I can assure you that you are among the very few people. If heaven is there, you will go directly. So I want to thank you sincerely for being with us. We have taken a lot of time, honorable members. We shall be adjourning. But we serve, I think there is lunch. I'm told there is lunch for the nominee. I don't know your contingent now, whether we will be able to provide lunch, but I want to direct from here that Sharon ensure that the team and the Sergeant at Arms be served with lunch, if not here, of course, where the arrangements have been made by the County Assembly. But as they go back to where they are coming from, I guess they are coming from Soin,
yes,
Sikawit, and I also guess
and the county also.
Yeah, I guess there must be also, either there must be church members or community members. I want to wish them well, or supporters. When they go back home, please say hi to the people of Soin, Sigawit, or where you come from. And it was also a pleasure hosting you at our gallery. This is the assembly where decisions are made, including approval of various nominees, and that is why your person before appeared before us. So we sincerely thank you, Malil, for the time. God bless you. Have a good time, and pray as I have pray and pray and pray. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
thank you,
let
Chair.
us break. We are joining now, is it? The Honorable Majority? Oh yes, Sergeant at Arms, ensure that the originals, documents, you give it back to the nominee. And just to remind you, don't forget the affidavit, because we have deadline and timeline. So for the purposes, and we have given you 24 hours, so you'll be liaising with our officers here, led by the Deputy Clerk. You can liaise with Deputy Clerk Sharon Mibey, so that you can get those documents or document on time. Otherwise, thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members.